Can I take this home? Because it really works well. Happy New Year. Glad to see you all here. Jen Stalford said, are we having a water meeting?
Or a deer or coyote.
Right. Call the meeting to order. Let the record show that all members of council are present and the press has been duly notified, and they are here. Something we haven't had for a long time. Would everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence if you'd like to. Council is going to. And in your prayers, please remember all of those who are recovering from yesterday. Some for good and some for bad. Thank you very much. Item number 1 on the agenda is the approval of minutes from meetings December 18th, 2017, and a special city council meeting on December 11th, 2017. Are there any questions or deletions to those minutes? Hearing none, those minutes are approved. Item number 2 on the agenda is a special presentation by the town of Fort Mill. Mayor Savage.
Do we need to turn the podium or?
Do we need to turn the podium? Should we turn the podium?
I can do that.
You can still turn it for me.
Well, really and truly, I'd like to be speaking to the audience, but I'm going to look at you. This evening, I wanted to bring best wishes and voices of gratitude for what you have given to the town of Fort Mill through your friendship, your cooperation, and your outreached hand of offering to help. 2 years ago, when I took the seat as mayor of Fort Mill, I didn't have a clue, to be honest with you. I'd been on council 8 years. And, sort of like jumping from the pan into the fire. And Georgie reached out and you said, it's a piece of cake, you can do it. Let me know what I can do to help. And consistently, I need for everyone here to know this gentleman answered every phone call, every question. He did it with respect, even when we disagreed. He did it with respect. And he did it as openly and as honestly as anything I could have hoped for. I'm a quote girl, so I kind of like to look up things that remind me of people. Albert Schweitzer said, the only ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve. I looked at Penny's post today on Facebook, and when you add up all of the hours and the time and the effort and the heart that goes into service, and it's civil service, even though I'm not very civil on a given day. It is civil service. It's a servant's job and a servant's role. And George, I think you have found that. I think you have reached out. I was in high school when Tega was first built. Yes, I'm very old. Very old. And we haven't always had a close relationship. You know, it's always change is not something everyone embraces. But I can honestly say we've had a wonderful relationship in my time on council and through you. We've fought off bridges. We've burned a few. We have, yeah, not. But I do think it's important that each and every one pay their respects to a gentleman that has given his whole heart and his time of his life as an investment into this community. And I believe that future generations of mine and George's will benefit, and David's as he takes the role, and all of you that serve Tega, and us partnering and doing the things that are right for this side of the river. I do believe that's very important, and I think you've started something that will last a very long time, George Shepherd. Next Monday night, my council will do a proclamation, and we will have a George Shepherd Day in Fort Mill.
Aww.
To honor you for your service. So, thank you so much.
Can we turn up the air conditioning because my eyes are starting to sweat?
Yeah. Join the club.
You gotta train them right.
Ay, ay, ay.
Okay. Item number 3A on the agenda.
We can pass if you want.
Dottie.
I can't do this. Darn it, I thought I wouldn't cry, but shoot.
You have been a friend,
As have you.
and an ally, and an adversary. But we've had fun,
A lot of it.
and we've done the right thing. Here's a small token from the city for your service. Now, it all can't be done by just the spouse. Or sorry, the council member. The spouse is involved too.
My spouse is on his way, but
Unfortunately, he can't be here because he's on his way from Newark, traveling. So this is a gift from the city to thank him for his support of you.
oh, rats. If I filibuster, does that mean we can stay in office or no?
No, we cannot.
I'm happy and I'm sad. Had a lot of words in my head. Probably all of them will go out of my head right now. I want to thank all of you in the city that supported me and allowed me to serve you for 2 terms. I never thought about public service since student council in high school, which was about 10 years ago. And so I was really heartwarming the first time I was elected and heartwarming the second time I was elected. You kind of let me down the third time, but hey, but you've spoken and that's a good thing. And I always believe that the Lord has other ideas for us, and I'm sure there'll be other things that I can do to keep me busy. I want to thank you, George, for your kind words, which I can put right back to you. We have served the city very well, and we've become really good friends. Your family, my family. I do believe that we've done the right things. Maybe we've made some mistakes along the way. That's okay. We do that sometimes. And we did argue from time to time. But we always came together when it counted. And what Gwen says about you and what your wife said about you on her post today is so true. I have never seen a person in my lifetime serve so unselfishly. You did everything. You were everywhere at all times. You were at meetings that you didn't need to be at. You swore in people for commissions, and you swore in new police officers and fire officers when I don't think anybody before you really did all of that. You came to a council meeting the same day or the day after you had surgery on your ankle, and I kept telling you to stay home. It was probably because I was mayor pro tem and I wanted to take the gavel just one time. But really, you have just done everything and been everywhere and served the city so selflessly. And we're all better for it. David, I think you have a really hard act to follow. So I hope you took good notes. To Jen, I want to thank you too for your 4 years of service. It's been great to be with you. And I think that I appreciate that you came up to this podium, or to that podium, and always had questions and comments so that I didn't feel like I was one of the few people talking, so thank you for that. And I think the city's going to miss you. Well, for one thing, I think you really reached the people, and I could see that by the number of people that reached out to you regularly to ask you questions or ask for your help, and you came through every single time. To David and to Ryan, it's been a pleasure to serve with you. I think that we were just finally starting to gel, and unfortunately our time's up. Well, maybe you think it's very fortunate, but some of us don't think it's fortunate. But I wish you the best of luck in the next 4 years and the next 2 years. And to the new folks, Heather and Alicia. Alicia's here somewhere. I see Heather. I wish you guys the best of luck. I was telling Heather before, this is like when you buy a boat. You know, the first day it's really exciting, shiny and new, and then the best day is when you sell it. So in this case, when your service is over. Yeah, I could stand here all night, really. Now I'm not crying anymore. But I'm going to stop here, and I'm just going to say it has been an absolute privilege. The novel I was reading had a very different ending at the end. I thought this was just going to be a chapter where I moved from city council to mayor. But if David falls down on the job, I'll be right there behind him to pick up, so don't worry about it. But thank you all very much. I hope that you feel that I and George and Jen and all of the councils that I've served with, the other members, did a great job for you. This is a wonderful city, and it will go on with or without me, I'm sure. But let's make sure we keep these guys honest. Make sure you stay interested, and, you know, our city will remain what it is. So thank you humbly. And from my heart, for giving me the opportunity to serve each and every one of you.
Item number 3B on the agenda is the recognition of Councilmember Jennifer Stalford. I don't know you as Jennifer. Come on. Jen, we never argued. I did exactly what your husband and kids do. We just agree with you. But Dottie is right. You always did have the questions, and you did always ask us and made us all think about the question and think about what we were doing and who we served. And the city of Tega is better for that. On behalf of the city, here's a small token of our appreciation. And again, it's hard to be the spouse at home and listen to us complain and complain and complain, yet be an ear of support. So on behalf of the city, Jim, thank you.
Everyone knows I don't really like pictures and that kind of thing, but I thought about today and what I would say, and it all kept streaming back to gratitude and how grateful I am. I'm really grateful for all of our city staff and how hard they work. I have a huge appreciation, and now that I've been working with them and what they do every day. And I'm also really grateful for all the council members I serve with now, as well as Ron Kirby and Chris Van Larson. We've done an amazing amount of things and brought a lot of opportunities to our city. And I know that there's a few that are still going to be developing, like Catawba Park and Game On and Windhaven, so many commercial aspects that are just going to be wonderful for our city as we go forward. And so I look forward to seeing those realized in the next couple of years. And I also wanted to thank everyone who ever contacted me. And I think the most popular question I got in the last couple of weeks was, are you going to be glad you're not getting any more complaints and emails? And I didn't really view them that way. Sure, people were not always happy. But I looked at it as our city always can have room for improvement, just like anything. Nothing's perfect. So I really viewed anything that someone came to me and said as a way for me to take in their information and make a better decision. And so I really appreciate everyone who did that. And I also really appreciate everyone who voted for me. This is not something I still get nervous talking in front of people, so it's not something I ever thought about doing. But it's been a wonderful journey, and it's been just wonderful serving everyone, and it's very unique, and I've really enjoyed it. And lastly, I want to thank my family, and my husband, I don't know where he went, but So I'll look forward to spending more time with them. And I'll see everybody around the city. So that's it.
Now it's my turn.
Item number 3C on the agenda is the recognition of Mayor George Shepard's service. As you've heard, George served our city for 10 years, 2 years on council and 8 years as mayor. And some of you have been here long enough, you can remember the condition the city was in back then. We were in debt. You know, we had the golf course that wasn't making much money, if any. It wasn't making any money. And George and the council, through their leadership, brought the city back, brought the golf course back, and we're in very good shape financially now. So George really turned this city around, and we owe him a great debt of gratitude. So George. George is going to be a tough act to follow, and I'm sure all of you out there are going to let me know when I stumble, slip, say something I'm not supposed to say, whatever I do. And I hold you all to that, because that's the only way that we know what we're doing up here, that we're doing what you want to do. So on behalf of the city, George, I want to thank you for 10 years of service, 10 years of loyal service to the city. Thank you very, very much. Which one first?
Go ahead, both of you go on.
Do it just like we rehearsed.
Good Lord.
It's like Christmas all over again.
Aw.
Very nice. Wow.
These are the names of all the employees.
Charlie, this is George also?
One more.
Make up for the council gift I didn't get.
Ooh.
I have to open mine, I didn't have to open theirs.
Because you're the mayor for another 2 minutes.
Oh, there you go. Oh, if you're gonna pick it up.
Oh, nice.
Hold on, we got more. Now I'd like to ask Congressman from 5th District, Ralph Norman, to step up.
Yeah, let George stand, though. Y'all can sit. We're going to let the mayor stand. Great to be in Tega tonight. Y'all, there must have been 40 deer on the golf course when I drove up. George hired those deer to keep the grass cut, but they were everywhere. No, it's a pleasure to be here. I first got to know George. Jake Jekyll called me, I guess, in 2010 or 2009, and said, "Come meet me at in Baxter." I said, "For what?" He said, "Don't you meet the guy that's going to run for mayor?" And lo and behold, there was George standing on the corner. We talked politics. I said, "George, you going to run?" He said, "Yeah, something I want to do." I said, "Well, let me help you out with a contribution. I've been through campaigns. I know how much it costs." He said, "I'm not taking donations." And I said, "Well, you must be rich." He said, "No." He said, "I just want to, want to fund the race myself." And, but no, it's been a great 10 years. I cannot believe how fast the time has gone. But George Shepard represented TKK. Gwen, whether it was RFATs, funding for the Memorial Gardens, whether it was the sidewalk for TK Drive, he represented TKK like each one of you. And I tell people, I mean, he sticks up for the people here. He does what's right for the people. And it's why TKK has got such a great reputation for good government. And that's exactly what it has. So, George, let me, I've got you a congressional record. I read it on the House, in the U.S. Chamber's House floor. In fact, I think I sent a video to Charlie, and y'all will have that if you get bored and want to listen to something. But basically what it says is...
12:15 a.m. to 1:15.
Yeah, let me put my glasses on. Mr. Speaker, Tuesday, January 2nd, 2018 is a great day for the mayor of TKK, South Carolina. Let me read the proclamation. Whereas serving as an elected official in local government requires sacrifice, passion, and dedication, and whereas as George C. Shepard was elected as the mayor of the city of TKK on November 10th, 2009, after serving 2 years as the city's mayor pro tempore, and whereas Mayor Shepard faithfully and dutifully served as the city's mayor for 8 years, and whereas during his 2 terms as mayor, the city of TKK prospered and solidified its place in the region. May Mayor Shepard, Godspeed in your retirement, and thank you for the great service to the city of TKK, South Carolina. And that's not all. I want to present the flag that's been flown over our nation's capital. I want to give you, George, the congressional 115th congressional coin. And I want to give you the certificate of recognition, the congressional certificate of recognition. It's a great, you did a great job for the city. Thank you. He asked me if to get him out of jail, and I said, George, you got enough money to get you out of jail. Thank you.
Back to that campaign pledge.
Thank you so much. And let me take this opportunity to invite all of you to come to Washington, D.C., see the Museum of the Bible, see the Holocaust, see the different great things that your tax dollars paid for. We're only a phone call away. Thank you, Godspeed, and George, what an honor.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you so much. You don't know how much all that means to me. All right, it's going to start. In the city of TKK, our motto is "It's the good life." How true it is. Despite the passage of years, there are certain timeless things that happen in our small corner of the world. We have grown by leaps and bounds, added schools, homes, and businesses. And yet we have somehow managed to stay small in the most perfect ways. The papers are delivered each morning, sometimes. The school buses gather our children. We head home for dinner and linger at the lake until the sun goes down. And we don't mind saying, yes, you gotta slow down in our town. Of course, we go to high school for everything. We support the kids. The Christmas tree lighting, well, it's always the first Saturday in December. We attend graduation parties. We buy neighborhood lemonade, kids lemonade. We wander down to watch the Little League baseball games. We have all had our share of tragedy and heartache. We watched and waited beside some of you as your world fell apart. We, as a town, gathered clothes and food, offered to watch your kids, lift you up in prayer as you picked yourself up from the pieces on your journey and journeyed on. We have shared your grief and offered hope. We are a better town because you stayed. You pushed us to give abundantly a share of the worst and the best of times. I could list the major accomplishments that we've had and what we've managed to make happen. All the long meetings, the phone calls, the late nights, in order to move forward. We have asked many times, is it a need or is it a want? How important is it to our city? How can we make it happen? When I first started, sometimes we didn't have enough money to pay the employees, the Comporium bill or Duke Energy. We used to spend money on the golf course so that we could keep it running, because it was our largest investment. We used to borrow money called a TAN, tax anticipation note, where we borrowed against revenue that we receive in January from the county, so it would get us through October, November, and December. We even had conversations that maybe we shouldn't have the concerts or the 4th of July events. We were low on resources and reserves. Now we have over $3 million. We have moved our fire department from an all-volunteer department to a combination department and built a new station. Thank you, Chief Szymanski, for your patience and your perseverance. Without you, we would not have the best ISO rating in the county. We have solid plans for construction of a new police department, which we've needed for more than 20 years. Thank you, Chief Steve Parker. I thought I saw him. There you go. You have brought our police department to the envy of the state. We are the safest city in the state of South Carolina. We have taken on one of the biggest problems and the environmental disaster to our way of the good life. We brought it under control, and we purchased Tega 2. The golf course is strong financial footing, where they no longer come to the city for money to operate. I can remember sitting in my office on 120 Shoreline Parkway, and I hope he's not here. I don't see him. But David Langford walking up from the parking lot, coming in the door, and like skipping up the steps. And I thought to myself, what is he doing? And he went straight up the stairs to Bob Barkin. And then he came down the stairs, and he was skipping a little more. And I went up the stairs to Bob, and I said, what was that all about? He said, oh, we just gave them money to keep the golf course running. We don't do that anymore. The golf course is operating, and they're putting money back into the reserves and saving for a rainy day. We have made huge advancements in taking Catawba Park, or making Catawba Park a reality. The 60-plus acre park on the Catawba River, which will be the jewel of the city. We were able to get rid of the pothole-ridden road into the city, Tega Drive. It was repaved by South Carolina CDOT. There is much more to say that we've accomplished, but I'd rather not list the many, many, many ways we are better. I want to spend a brief moment reminding you of what good, amazing people you are. The employees, the volunteers. That will all continue and that will all carry on. Those are all things that make us a great city. I never expected to be the mayor or the mayor of Tega. Somehow, through a concerted effort of friends and neighbors, you honored me by allowing me this great privilege to serve you. And in many ways, once I took office, you sort of moved into. You stayed and you helped. You moved us forward. We know in our city that listening to ideas and thinking outside the box is what makes us unique in Tega. We're one of a kind. In Tega, we've learned that the city relishes big events, fireworks, and flat out going over the top on all kinds of ways. Putting signs in yards, making phone calls, and getting out the vote. My kitchen cabinet, led by Jake Jekyll, believed more strongly at times in me than I did myself. Thank you for your persistence and your determination, because that's what got me into office. but you also held a steadfast yearning for me to be successful for the next 10 years. 2 years on council, 8 years as mayor. Penny, Em, and I will hold you as dear friends forever. Realizing budget concerns and the potential of not having the events to make Tega a special place, we organized the Mayor's Golf Tournament with the help of Joe and Val Soprano. Thank you. Oh, and then there's the Women's Club. There wasn't anything I wouldn't ask them to do that they didn't jump up and do it. Just think, and those of you who are older will understand what I'm about to say. Just think of all those letters they wrote. That was all headed up by Michelle McGuire. Thank you. As a mayor, I learned early on that you don't have all the answers. You don't have the history of what has gone on before and what has happened. That hasn't been written down in the minutes of a meeting. What personalities are not captured in minutes. But you do need to listen, and you do need to reach out to many and I did listen and reach out to many previous councils. There were two I need to publicly thank. Unfortunately, they're no longer with us. Les Connor and John Dervay. Their counsel and guidance and support for me was unquestionable. As many of you know, John gave me advice on the Friday before he passed. I would also rely on the advice and support of former mayors. I was privileged to know and speak with 5 of them, and I thank them all for their guidance. I have also had the privilege to work with many great citizens who stepped forward and sat behind the dais with me. Les Connor, Larry Harper, John Dervay, Stephen Perkins, Chris Landvik Larson, Ron Kirby, Jennifer Stalford, Dottie Hersey, Ryan Richard, and David O'Neill. It's not easy being up there. It's not. And I publicly want to thank you for your service. I also received advice from many residents. There are a few that stand out more than others, not because their advice was better, but because it was consistent in their advice. And they didn't give me the advice on their issues. They gave me advice on the whole city. Jane Myers. Kathy Masters. And Walt Krasinski. I'm sorry, Gwen, but he's got a contract, and he's not going anywhere. Charlie Funderburk is the best city manager we have had ever. And I previously stated that, and I believe it with all my heart. He is the best in the state. He is on call 24/7. He has the best staff in the state working with him and council. They are here for your most important issue you have in the entire world, and they'll help you solve it. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, city staff. As I previously mentioned, we tackled an issue that faced our city since its inception, T-Cut 2. I remember clearly the day I called and invited the president of Utilities, Inc. to come to TK and spend the weekend swimming in the lake with her children. It was Memorial Day weekend. Emma was not happy with me because she and her friends could not go swimming and jet skiing on the lake because we just had a large SSO. So I called Lisa Sparrow and I invited her to come. She could stay at my house. Bring your kids. She declined the invitation. We tackled that problem with the help of Flush UI, Linda Stevenson and crew. Thank you, Linda. We celebrated National Walk to School Day, Ride Your Bike to School Day. Our Buzz team won an Emmy, and we posted it loud and clear. Our band played in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and our cheerleaders cheered. No one in the country had more text, pictures, and Snapchat conversations going on than TK. Our annual 4th of July parade party is one for the books. It's the best celebration of the 4th of July. Who else rivals our parades with flashlights, with lights, flashing, boats, food and laughter, the swim team at Windjammer, the splish splash of fun at the golf course, the red, white, and blue golf course tournament up here, the TUK Lions Club fish fry. When it comes to a city birthday party, the State of the City address, and the city birthday cake, cut by Buzz Stebbins and his family sword. I never remember if it's his great-grandfather or his great-great-grandfather, so leave it at that. That never gets old. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that there are 3 former mayors, Tony, Steve, and Bob, sit in the audience every year and listen intently about the city that they have poured their lives into. Guys, I hope you save me a seat for next year. We love to laugh and share all the good things. In ending, I have 2 people that are my home. Wherever I go. If I look this way, maybe. My daughter Emma has grown up under the watchful eye of the community. Like other young people in our city, you have taken her under your wing. Watched her graduate from high school, off to college and graduate, and now she's headed down to the University of South Carolina, go Cox, where she will get her master's degree in elementary education and become an amazing teacher. Thank you, Emma. You have taught me more than you will ever know. Show me how to look through a child's eyes and to make decisions about your home and your city. They told me I wouldn't get through this. Lastly, my heartfelt thanks to Penny. She urged me on when I thought the entire city would be running me out on a rail for my crazy ideas and thoughts. Sometimes I think she's even packed a bag. That bag still may be packed in the corner of the basement. Penny, you have thought through problems and solutions with me, helped me offer sympathies to families, and gave me words when I couldn't find my own. You have been my confidant, my dearest friend. You have held dinners until they were cold, because sometimes I wouldn't be able to read the sign in the window saying, "Get in the house." And stepping up when other volunteers had to bow out. You have always been the one to say, "What can I do?" Thank you, TK. It has been and will continue to be an honor to serve as your mayor. Congratulations to the new council members, Heather Overman, Alicia Dash, and our new mayor, David O'Neill. As you begin your journey to serve the people of our town, I urge you to remember St. Francis de Sales, who said, "Be who you are, and be it well." This town, these people need you to be good stewards of what you've been entrusted with. This is their home. This is our home. And it is the good life. May God continue to bless you, your families, and our awesome city. Thank you. Item number 4 on the agenda is the resignation of office. David O'Neill, all ready? I'm ready.
As of right now, I have officially resigned my office as Mayor Pro Tem and City Council for the City of Tega, which means there's now a candidate that needs to be elected, and that election day will be Tuesday, March 20th. And I encourage all of you, every one of you out there, to go register and become a candidate. You can register. Filing opens Friday, January 12th, and it lasts for 10 days. Friday, January 12th through Monday, January 22nd. So that way you'd be able to come up here and join us for all this fun. But as of now, I'm resigned.
Okay. Item number 5 on the agenda is the oath of office, and we're going to ask Judge Bice to come forward for that. Jen, Dottie, me, we're out. This is where the mic drop goes.
Yeah, don't drop it. I'll
Let them stand over there.
Okay.
Make sure y'all sign.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Bring the Bible. You did bring the Bible, she did. No, you're gonna hold it. No, just keep it. Stay right here. You hold it.
All right. If you could repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I'm duly qualified,
that I'm duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of the office
to which I have been elected,
to which I've been elected,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve, protect, and defend
and preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of this state and the United States.
the Constitution of this state and the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
And there's actually a second oath that's required. As mayor of the municipality of Tega,
As mayor of the municipality of Tega,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
and skill,
and skill,
exercise the trust
exercise the trust
reposed to me,
proposed to me,
and I will use my best endeavors
and I will use my best endeavors
to preserve the peace
to preserve the peace
and carry into effect,
and carry into effect,
according to law,
according to law,
the purposes for which I have been elected.
the purposes for which I've been elected.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. You can sign these.
You keep one, we'll take one.
Thank you, sir. Heather Overman. No, that's fine. All right, if you could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of the state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of the office
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve, protect, and defend
and preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of this state and of the United States.
the Constitution of this state and the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
As council member of the municipality of Tega,
As council member of the municipality of Tega,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
to the best of my ability and skill,
to the best of my ability and skill,
exercise the trust reposed to me,
exercise the trust reposed to me,
and I will use my best endeavors
and I will use my best endeavors
to preserve the peace
to preserve the peace
and carry into effect,
and carry into effect,
according to law,
according to law,
the purposes for which I have been elected.
the purposes for which I have been elected.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, you could sign both of these, and one's going to be for you. Justin Bice. Nice to meet you. Beautiful kids.
Good deal. Yep. Take your spot.
Alicia Dash. All right, if you could repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of this office,
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution
and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution
of this state and of the United States.
of this state and of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
As council member of the municipality of Tega,
As council member of the municipality of Tega,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
to the best of my ability and skill,
to the best of my ability and skill,
exercise the trust reposed to me,
exercise the trust reposed to me,
and I will use my best endeavors
and I will use my best endeavors
to preserve the peace
to preserve the peace
and carry into effect,
and carry into effect,
according to law,
according to law,
the purposes for which I have been elected.
the purposes to which I have been elected.
So help me God.
So help me God.
All right, congratulations. All right, you get to sign both of these. There's a pen.
Good job.
Do you have any water?
Yes, there's some, I think so. Okay,
Hold on, one of these is really sure.
Hey, just Bob McCleve.
Oh, nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you. Oh, I don't think we've ever met. So.
Item number 6, and actually, because it was going to be a full house tonight, we've decided to keep this as brief as possible because it's kind of warm in here, and we knew that it would probably be a very full house with the families of 3 that are departing, with 3 coming on. So we're only going to do tonight just the bare minimum. So first, item number 6 is the adoption of the 2018 regular council meeting schedule. And what we'd like to do is go back to the 7 o'clock council meeting time, if that's okay, everybody? Is that okay? I'd like to make a motion to amend, to change the regular council meetings to 7 o'clock. Any questions? Any comments? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Our first vote is a unanimous vote. You're here. Item number 7, council comments. We've decided to make all of our council comments, all of our thank yous and all during this time. So let's start with the guy who wasn't too much of the ceremony tonight. It's Ryan. You get to just lead us off and go ahead with your council.
I don't have a whole lot. I know everybody's anxious to get up, get out, possibly sneak over, go celebrate with your friends and family. Looking forward for the next few years to come. You girls have both ran a great campaign and very qualified, and I'm excited to be working with both of you. And that's all I have.
Alicia?
Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. And I just want to take an opportunity to send a big thanks out to the community and to all of those who have supported me in this journey. It's been exciting and challenging and nerve-wracking all at the same time. But I'm humbled by the outcome, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity to serve the community. Specifically, there's some folks that I want to thank. Jennifer, Dottie, and George, thank you guys for your years of service. You're right, it's tough, and you guys did a great job, and so thank you for that. And I also want to thank Ryan and our new mayor, David. Thank you guys for your service as well to our community, and I also look forward to serving with you guys. I want to take some time to thank some of my coworkers who are here. I'm very excited. They're my extended family, so thank you to those who are here. My best friend, Tanya, is here as well, so I'd like to thank her. My mom traveled here from Georgia, so thanks, Mom, for being here to support me through this. But most importantly, thank you to my husband and my children. Bob, thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for sticking by my side through all of the days and nights of working hard, and I look forward to this journey over the next 4 years with you by my side. So thanks again to all of those here. Thank you for your support. I look forward to serving, and reach out to me if you have any questions or I can do anything to help you. Thank you.
Thanks, Alicia. Heather?
I want to thank George, Dottie, and Jen. You've left some pretty big shoes to fill, so I really appreciate all of your service and your dedication to our city. I don't even know, did George dip out? There he is. Hi, George. So you will be missed. Thank you very much to all of you. I want to thank my husband. Thanks for being my #1 fan and my biggest supporter. My kids. Hopefully, they probably have no idea what's going on right now. Actually, they've asked me like 6 times, can we just go home or can I play on your phone? But maybe someday you'll look back on this and you'll be proud of your mom. I want to thank my friends and supporters, those who are in the audience tonight and those maybe are at home watching. You are amazing people, and I wouldn't be here without you. So thank you to each of you. I'm really lucky to have all of you in my life. I started this because I love this city, and I love all the people in it. And I promise to always be knowledgeable and thoughtful and humble in my decisions. And I'm looking forward to serving with these amazing people and making Tega continue to grow and prosper. So thank you.
Thank you. I just want to thank, this amazing journey started for me. This is January, so it'd be almost a year and a half ago. We started meeting over at Linda Stevenson's house to formulate a plan on how to get elected. And we met every month for several months, and then we started meeting every week, I guess, towards the end there, and got a group of people that I can't even name them all, because if I start naming them, I'll forget you, but a lot of people on that side. And then we started meeting every day, it seemed like. And everybody had a job, everybody had something to do, and everybody executed it very well. And in the end, we did 22 meet and greets, I think, that would have never been done if it hadn't been for those people over there. So I want to thank all of you over there. I'm sorry I can't name you all. I've already thanked you at our little dinner party we had, but I appreciate it very much. And I want to thank the people I served with, Jen, Dottie, and George. It's been an amazing 2 years. I've learned a lot. And I remember when I first got up here, I don't even think I knew what I was doing the first couple of days. So you kind of get this job and you kind of live and learn. And I expect to do that again with this job. But I've got all these people to kind of watch me, to take care of me for the next, is it really 4 years? 4 years. I want to thank my wife. She puts up with me. Like George said, you get home very late at night sometimes. And she stopped making dinner. So I'm just not even going to do it anymore. So I go home and there's no dinner and I have to eat sandwich or something, which I like anyway. So sandwiches are okay. But you never know what's going to come next sometimes. You get calls all hours a night. And as George said, Charlie has a phone and he's the one I would hope that you call. So call Charlie. No, please, we list our phone numbers and our email address on the website, the city website, and I don't want to discourage you, but you please, if you really need something and you don't think you're getting what you need from the city, because that's what we pay a professional city manager to do, please contact us. I mean, I don't ever think you're going to need me if you do that, because Charlie and the gang really do a good job. So, but I look forward to the next 4 years. The only thing I have to say is stick around after this we have cookies and Kool-Aid, and I'm sure Cliff's going to want to take some pictures. And so I appreciate everything everybody did and look forward to the next 4 years. Thank you. Item number 8 on the agenda is adjournment. I will take a motion for adjournment.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a second from Alicia. Any questions or comments? Well, before I do that, I'm going to exercise a little mayoral. Mom, would you come up here for a minute? Since Linda got to hold the Bible, I want to have my mom help me with something here real fast. This is my mother from Fort Worth, Texas. I watched a show the other day that said whenever you win the Heisman Trophy, you're forever recognized before your name as Heisman Trophy winner so-and-so. And I think when you get to be my mother's age, I think she will mind if I say she's 83 years old? 82 years old? And when I asked her to come, we were all worried could she fly alone? And what do you mean fly alone? She could fly fine, and she drives herself. She does everything, so she's fine. So I have a motion to adjourn, seconded by Alicia. All in favor, say aye.
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 No opposed? Help me gavel it up. We're adjourned.